Hey, yo, 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 yo. How's everybody doing? Thank you for tuning in, talking about percentages even more. This is part one of applications of percent. I should have that up here. This is part one. And hopefully you've watched 5.1 and 5.2 talking about percentages and how to write expressions from percentages. And this is going to talk about very similar to that stuff, but it's just going to go a little bit deeper and to make sure that we have it all down. So markup, markdown, you've already seen these definitions, but now we're even opening it up a little bit more. We're talking about a little bit different stuff where markup is an increase based on a given percentage, and here's some examples of that: sales tax and tips. So a lot of times when we go out to restaurants, it is customary to leave a tip of 15% at least. So we need to know how to figure out what 15% is. That way we can leave the correct amount of tip, the correct tip. A markdown is a decrease based on a given percentage, and the most common markdowns are just sales in stores. Now, first we need to know how to find the percentage of a number. We've already seen a little bit of this, but just in case, this is a good review. So if you needed to find 15% of 80, so the reason why we need to find the percent of a number is then we can apply that markup or that markdown. Because when we have a sale, it might be marked down by 15%, but maybe you don't know what that markdown is because it just says take 15% off the tag. So if we want to know what the final cost is, we would need to know what 15% is of that $80 outfit or that $80 jacket or $80 game or $80 whatever that you're buying. Or if you wanted to add a 15% tip to maybe an $80 meal, you need to know what 15% of 80 is so that you can add it to it. So what we need to do is we need to figure out, well, how do we find that percent of 80, 15% of 80? And all we do is you just multiply. So we're just multiplying 15% times 80. That's it. So it'd be 80 times 15%. Now, but one big thing is that we are not able to multiply percentages. We're not really able to do any operations with percentages. So what we have to do first, before we ever do an operation with a percentage, is we have to convert it to a decimal. And the way we do that is we just move the decimal twice to the left. So 15% is really just 0.15. And now I can actually do my multiplication. So let's see here, 0, 40, 0, and 8. And I should get 1200, but then I got to take account for my decimal. 1, 2 numbers after the decimal. 1, 2. So 15% of 80 is 12. So if this was 15% off, so it was a sale of 15% off, that means it's really 15% of 80 is $12. So it'd be $12 off of the original cost. If this was a tip, that means we're going to leave a $12 tip on this $80 meal. So now it's a $92 meal. Okay. Now, this is a formula to show you how to find a new amount based on whether it was a markup or a markdown. So really you're just going to take whatever the original is, you're going to add or subtract. If it's a markup, you're going to add. If it's a markdown, you're going to subtract whatever that markdown total is or that markup total is. And then that's just going to give you your new amount. So to figure out that total, though, that's when we have to find that percent of the number. So here we go. Varsity jacket from a clothing store in Arlington. Varsity jackets are not cheap. The price of the jacket is $80. That's actually not bad. That's cheaper than a lot of varsity jackets. And the sales tax is 8%. So sales tax is a markup. So when we pay sales tax, that's marking up the price by 8%. And that's the sales tax in Nevada, 8, 9%, something like that. So we want to know the total cost. So it was $80 originally. There's my original amount. I need to add that markup total. Well, the markup was 8% of $80, so I got to multiply that, and that's going to give me my new amount. So I need to figure out what 8% of 80 is. So I've got to change 8% into a decimal and then multiply it by 80. So I have 80 times whatever 8% is. Well, 8% as a decimal, if I add it to the end, I move it left twice to the left. This is a common mistake here. I got to add my decimal. I had to move it 2 spaces, and I didn't have 2 spaces. That's when we add zeros. So 80% is really 0.08. So I have 80 times 0.08. And now I just do my multiplication. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 8 is 64. And then I move over, and I know I'm just going to have zeros here. So I'm left with, I ran out of space, sorry, because of my sloppy writing with this slate. 640 is what I would add it up right down here. Move my decimal over once, twice, So really, the sales tax was $6.40 in sales tax. So because it's $6.40 in sales tax, I can add that with the original price. So when I add these together, 80 plus $6.40 is going to give me a grand total of the cost of the jacket is really $86.40 because we had to add that sales tax to that original price. Okay. Sometimes you're going to have to do two different markups. So when you go out to dinner, the price of the meal was $60 for the Maxwell family. That was just the price of all the food. Then they have to add the sales tax markup. Then they also have to leave a 15% tip. So what happens is the tip is generally left after the final bill with the sales tax. So that $60 meal, we're going to figure out, okay, well, what is the 7% markup? So if I have $60 and the 7%, I need to figure out, well, what's 7% of 60? So there's my original amount plus my 7% of 60, which we really know is 0.07 times 60. So my original amount, I'm adding whatever 7% of 60 is. Now, 7% of 60 is $4.20. I'm just saving time for you guys that you're having to see me do the multiplication. So that means the actual meal price was $64.20. So now this is when we're going to leave the 15% tip, but the 15% tip is going to be left on this price. Because whenever we receive a bill when we're at dinner, we already see the meal with the sales tax price. So people actually leave the sales tax. They actually leave the tip based on the total price of the bill, which is already including sales tax. So now I'm going to use that new price. So right now it's a $64.20 meal, and then I'm going to add the 15% sales. It says 15% tip to it, and that's going to be times $64.20. So this is where you got to do a little bit more multiplication, because now you really have to do, you're multiplying 0.15 times 64.20. And so what I will do, again, just for the sake of time, I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm just going to plug it in. You should not be using a calculator. If you want to, you can use it to check your work, but I'm just really doing it to save you guys time on this video. And what I got was $9.63. So that's the tip, $9.63. Now what a lot of people do is they might round that up to $10 to give an even tip, but that's just all personal preference for certain people. So when I add these two numbers together, that means the final cost of that $60 meal, the final cost is going to be $73.83. So sometimes you just have to apply it twice. So maybe, or you might have to apply a markdown. Maybe it was a $60 meal, but then it was on sale for 20%. You had a coupon for 20% off, and then you had to leave a 15% tip. So sometimes there's a two-step process to figure out the final cost. That's all I got. Okay, that's it. So for things to remember, I want you to recopy your formula. So recopy the formula again that we already wrote down. So copy that down. And then that was the original amount plus the markup minus the markdown equals the new amount. And then also, let's make sure we get a shot at this independent practice. So, okay? So I hope this helped, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Gradius out.